It's time to talk about a happy ending from Dropp and Funko. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to the Gastlecast. We're glad you're there. You get the right time. We got an all-time high. Funko's hot toys and charms on mine. Stick around, like, comment, and be sure to subscribe because life's a little better when you answer Chris and Heather. Hey, life's a little better when you answer Chris and Heather. Hey, life's a little better when you answer Chris and Heather. And remember, at these hallowed walls, we are together. Yes.
Not that kind of happy ending, though.
No, it's not gross, and stop being gross! Stop thinking dirty things! We're talking about Funko Pop vinyls here.
What people do with their Funko Pops in their spare time is their business, but this ain't about that.
So one really good thing about Dropp and Funko and the NFT Pops lately, it seems like they're on their game, and they're trying to ship out Pops that are not damaged. We're very glad to bring you a story that's positive and has a happy ending in regards to NFT Funko Pops from Dropp. For a while, they were shipping Funko Pops that were damaged, and we weren't real happy about it. For a long time, we've been begging them to put pop protection on these Funko Pops when they ship them out. That has not happened yet, and I'm here to let you know that all the Funko Pops we're about to show you were in good shape when they arrived.
Yes, they put them in a sorter, which they have been doing for quite some time. However, these Pops almost didn't arrive.
Before we tell you our story, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell. That way you'll know anytime we go live or post brand new content. And check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Gastlecast if you want to support us a little bit more than just hitting the subscribe and like buttons. And check out POPPINOFFtoys.com for all of your Funko Pops, Funko Sodas, and Funko Mystery Mini needs. You can use promo code Gastlecast to get 10% off your order, and if you're a patron at level 4, you get 15% off. Check out POPPINOFFtoys.com. They're our favorite place to buy Funko Pops. Remember the Avatar Funko Pops?
How could I forget?
We had a couple of Avatar Funko Pops being shipped to us separate from our other bundle of Avatar Funko Pops.
And that's because a friend of ours who lives in a different country was not able to get them shipped to their address because they don't ship to that country. So we were sort of acting as a reshipper.
Yeah, so we were an in-between and we were happy to do it. But we were really concerned when we received our Avatar Funko Pops, but we didn't receive theirs. It seemed like something was up, and so we started looking at our tracking. And when I looked at the tracking the day that mine arrived, it basically said that the other Funko Pops were set to arrive that day as well. But they didn't, and that was weird. So when I checked the very next day, it said that they would arrive on that day. And then I checked the day after that, and the shipping said exactly the same thing. And this happened for an entire week. Basically, it would tell me that the day that I was searching for the tracking number, it was supposed to arrive the day that I was looking at the tracking.
Yeah, so this was all done on UPS's website. So finally, after seeing this for at least a week, maybe even a week and a half, I decided to call UPS and I was like, hey, what's up? Where's my And they were like, hey girl, this is UPS speaking. I just want to let you know that we transferred this to USPS. And what you can do is you can type the tracking number in USPS's system and it'll tell you where it's at. And I was like, cool, bro. Thanks for the info. So then I checked USPS's website and it basically said, we're awaiting this item from the other shipper, which was UPS. So I called USPS and I was like, hey, what's up?
I can't do this anymore.
What?
You weren't calling them like this.
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't saying bro, and they weren't saying bro.
Okay, I was like, hey.
You never said that either.
Where's my Okay, I didn't. I was like, hi, this is Heather, and I'm just calling because I'm wondering where my item is. This is what the tracking is saying. I already talked to UPS, and they said that you guys have it. And they said, well, no, it says that it's supposed to be transferred, but we haven't received it yet, which is why it hasn't updated in our system. So I called UPS again, and they were like, no, USPS does have it. And then I called USPS, and they said, no, we don't. So I was like, listen, can you guys like talk to each other because I'm tired of calling you and I'm tired of calling them and it's impossible to get through the computer robot to get to a real person, and when I do, you're telling me UPS has it and they're telling me USPS has it and I don't know what to do.
Believe it or not, this story has a happy ending. Alright, so there was a lot of back and forth going on between UPS and USPS. We couldn't get really clear answers, and that was the problem. Where the f were these Funko Pops? We couldn't find them anywhere. They were gone. They had totally disappeared. They were off the radar. So that's when I decided to go to Dropp. And I basically told Dropp what my situation was, what happened to the Funko Pops, gave them the tracking number, gave them the order number, and let them handle it. And they said that they would, which I was really happy to hear because I have heard some horror stories when people reach out to Dropp.
For a while, and I can't say that this will never happen again because I don't know, but a lot of people were saying like my stuff got lost in the mail or it got damaged, and Dropp offered me a $30 credit, not even $30 back to their method of payment. It was a credit to shop on Dropp's website, which we've mentioned. Why would we trust Dropp after getting something lost in the mail and them only giving you a $30 credit? So therefore that credit could potentially be useless because what if you didn't receive that shipment if you got something?
Exactly. So no one wants $30 credit. And that was my biggest fear, is that reaching out to Dropp, that was precisely what they were going to tell me. But that isn't what happened at all. In fact, they got to work and they tried to figure all this stuff out. I emailed them a couple of times over the course of about a week and a half, but they finally got back to me and they said, we're shipping out your 2 Funko Pops.
Wow.
So I have no idea what happened to those 2 original Funko Pops, but I'm glad to see that they were able to fulfill us with 2 brand new ones over at Dropp. That's awesome. This gives me a lot of faith that Dropp is trying to make things better when it comes to their customer base, because most of the time we would come on here in front of the camera and tell you just how horrible they're doing. And maybe things are improving. Maybe this is a sign of improvement. I'm hoping that we never see this $30 credit ever again, but I don't know. I'm not going to put it past them.
Me neither, but all we can do is give it time and see how things pan out when unfortunate things do happen with people's pops.
So the Funko Pops that we're talking about are the Painted Lady and Freddy Funko as the avatar character. What's his name? Aang. Yeah, so these are 2 cool Funko Pops. This is one that we did not get. I did not get a Painted Lady. My God, feel how heavy this is.
I know, she's very heavy.
Good Lord. Well, look at these 2. They're really great Funko Pops. Oh my God, they're dusty. Good Lord, where have they been? It's terrible when you get your Funko Pops in the mail and you have to blow them first before you can show them off. All right, so here are my 2. Oh, they're still really filthy. I didn't blow them that good, I don't think. But here's an Aang that it's a 4,160 piece, and then the Painted Lady is a 2,125 piece. I don't know the amount that were actually sent to fans, but they're both great Funko Pops, and we're glad we could help out a friend and get their Funko Pops back because we didn't know if it was going to work out for them. I thought it was game over. Yeah, we'll probably not be the middleman again because this situation was wacky.
It was crazy, and I just don't want to be liable for someone else's stuff getting lost, even though I'm not UPS and I'm not the one responsible for shipping them, but it still makes me feel really, really bad, and I felt awful thinking that these Pops might not ever get to their final home.
But these aren't the only 2 NFT Funko Pops we're going to talk about in this video. There are 2 more that came in. I'm super excited about them. I cannot believe they showed up. They were supposed to be here like a couple days from now. That's what my tracking was saying, but they showed up early. And I love when they show up early. So those 2 Funko Pops are these guys right here. Know what this means?
Yep.
Well, Heather, I don't know if you know this or not, but good old Huck showed up in his astronaut outfit. What do you think about that?
Well, I know that if you were an astronaut, they would call you an ass-tronaut.
I just want to know how this Huckleberry hound sniffs golden retriever butts. That's a really good question. He has a dome around his head. How is he sniffing golden retriever butts? That's what I want to know.
Do they have golden retrievers in outer space? I don't know.
Oh, I bet they do, Heather, and I bet they're the finest smelling golden retrievers in the galaxy. By the way, did you see that new Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie?
Yeah.
The entire time I watched that, I thought about that Cosmo. I just wanted to put my nose all...
Okay.
No,
Enough. No.
Hey! Ah, my ears! Come on! What are you doing? Okay, I didn't finish talking about Cosmo. Okay, so Cosmo, I saw Cosmo. She also has a dome around her head. So I'd like to know, does Cosmo and Huckleberry Hound, with his dome on his head, do they have straws or some sort of cable that they connect to each other so they can smell each other's butts? That's what I'd like to know. Do you think that? Hey, come on!
Listen, we do not need these details.
All right, so these two Funko Pops are really great. I love Hanna-Barbera Funko Pops. So we got Huckleberry Hound, who's a 999 piece, and this guy right here was the royalty piece at 3,000 pieces. This might be in my top Freddy Funko Pops of all time ever.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
So what's funny is this is almost like a Poppin buddy, except the buddy is like wrapped around his leg. You can see his little hand holding on to Space Ghost.
Why is Space Ghost packing so much heat in them pants? That's what I want to know. Oh my
That's
goodness.
something.
Good God almighty, what is he doing down there?
Is it because the monkey's touching too close?
And you think I'm being gross when I'm Huckleberry Hound, and you're going to say something like that?
Listen, he's
You
touching.
are just so disgusting. God, you just ruined the pop.
This is f***ing adorable. I love this. So this is Freddy as Space Ghost and Blip.
So I noticed that somebody received their Huckleberry Hound on social media, and it does not have the helmet on it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was shipped with no helmet. I would love to know how that even happens, because that's a part of the Funko Pop. However, you can see there's a seam, so it can come off, I guess, if you really wanted it to come off. But man, I'd be really bummed out if my Huckleberry showed up with no helm. Oh, look, and they both stand perfectly. All right, so we want to know redemptions. There were 2,400 out of 3,000 of this Freddy Funko redeemed. And Huckleberry Hound, there was 973 out of 999.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Now, if we're going to talk about all of them, Astro had 1,584 out of 1,635. Elroy had 1,566 out of 1,635. And George Jetson had 1,572 out of 1,635. So the royalty Freddy was the one not redeemed the most.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I do have to say that the royalties do have some work you need to put into them, so I can understand why less people would redeem that.
I don't know. When I saw this piece, I knew I had to have it, so I went after it.
Is it because of his bulge?
Did you just fart?
Yeah.
Stop farting. I mean, for real, what are you doing?
Gosh,
Gosh, you're so great. We're talking about this guy here. Somebody reached out to us and pointed out that on the original Glam, it said Space Ghost. Now it says Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
That's very interesting. The Space Ghost that it had on the Glam was just white.
Right, so I don't know why they changed it to Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Space Ghost was a cartoon that came out like way back in the day. Space Ghost Coast to Coast used Space Ghost animation to make a talk show sort of television show.
Yeah, I remember that. So my guess is that somebody over at Funko didn't realize it was supposed to be Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and due to a licensing issue, they probably had the Coast to Coast license, but they Googled Space Ghost and then put that there. Like there was some sort of misunderstanding.
It doesn't make any
somehow.
sense to me why they would do Space Ghost Coast to Coast over Space Ghost, but whatever. I'm not sure what that's about.
Licensing!
I guess. I don't know. But anyway, these two Funko Pops are fantastic, and I'm super excited that we've got them, and I'm super excited to add them to our little collection. Now, we don't collect Hanna-Barbera, but I would say having a Freddy Funko as Space Ghost is, for me, grail-worthy. And Huckleberry Hound, I am Huckleberry Hound. I'm a version of Huckleberry Hound. I'm a living and breathing Huckleberry Hound. Now, I have my own version of Huckleberry Hound, but he exists now in the Huckleberry Hound multiverse. And to have him with a little dome over top of his head, it just seems fitting to me.
Question, do you think that's why Brian Mariotti likes us so much, is because you are Huckleberry Hound?
Yeah. I'm sure he's very angry about my version of Huckleberry Hound.
Probably.
He hates it, I'm sure.
Probably.
But I would love to know what you guys think about these Funko Pops, and I would also like to know what you think about our shipping story. Have you had shipping issues with Dropp yourself? Have you received the $30 credit over top of getting Funko Pops like the ones that we have here today? Did you go through a scenario like us? We would just like to know a little bit of background of what you've dealt with when it comes to Dropp Funko and Funko NFTs in the comment section down below.
Hopefully it's all positive, but we know that they're learning and evolving, so it may not be.
Yeah, and I would suspect, which I didn't add earlier, is that these two Funko Pops, they must have some left over or something, or they have them in case there's damage. I don't think they were doing a lot of that before, but maybe they're learning their lesson, and then they'll destroy whatever's left over down the road, or they'll sell them over at Buckeye for half the price. Who knows?
Maybe. Half the price? You mean like
Yeah,
a quarter or less?
Yeah, like nothing.
In every video, we like to shout out to some of our amazing patrons from Patreon. We are so grateful for your support. In this video, we'd like to shout out to
Joshua G, Michael Petrino, Joseph Mayfield, Brian, Tony Hagman, Greg F, Porcine Pikachu, Ryan Thomas, Attila Hardy, and David Jones. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. We appreciate all of our patrons. You guys rock. Thank you for staying until the very end of the video. We really appreciate all of your support. It means the world. Remember, as always, we hunt together, yes. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.